All right, let's get started. So let's lay on our back. And we'll bend the knees. So as always, this is just such a great position for the pelvis, especially as women, and your shoulder blades and skull. So these three aspects, the three S's, skull, shoulder blades, sacrum, all are in a line. This is your postural line. It's really hard to feel when you're standing in space and you have kind of no idea where the back body is because there's not as much nerve sensation. There's not as much of that mapping back there. So it can feel like this blind spot back there. I think that's why proprioception, practicing that is really important because it's the behind you that you can't see. So you're trying to navigate life in that realm, okay, of not knowing. And so we do stuff like this class once a week where we're feeling the points of the body. It's like you're physically feeling, you're physically mapping to your brain these areas. So you have more heaviness in certain areas than others. Okay, so for everybody's bodies, it's different. But generally, it's the back of the head, so kind of the center. You have the shoulder blades, and then you have the sacrum where sometimes people's lower backs are touching more than others. So the arc of the back differs. Okay, and then we just hold here. And all you're allowing is, it's like if the points of contact to the floor were to give information through the nerve conductivity to the brain, it's drawing out your body. It's like, okay, this is how wide it is. These are the sensitivities. This is the length of it. It's giving it information. So when it tries to predict your body during activities, it knows where it is. It has a much accurate picture. So this is very different than sleeping, where we just lie in a soft bed. Sometimes people like harder beds, but either way, it's not the floor. It's not these webbed areas that arc up in relationship to the other parts that are heavier down. Okay, so there's always the opposites that go on. There's always a push-pull. There's a stability and a mobility. There's a heaviness and a lightness that occurs. And so this is similar to body somatics because we have to feel what's going on. Okay. So as the mind makes these subconscious predictions, you can actually consciously start to tune in. It's a really good practice to be in because we tend to push through life. And so we navigate the breath. So it's almost like you breathe in a way that allows you to step out of the way of this process happening naturally. So in a subconscious level, you have 20 million nerve conductivity actions that happen. And consciously, we only have 40. So we let the subconscious take over, especially in this type of class. Okay, so we're going to change the stimulus. We're just going to let the knees go over to one side. So now you've taken a pull in the tissue in this little diagonal way, and then you just wait. You wait to see how the body feels, how the breath changes, what the mind thinks. Let's bring the knees over to the other side. So you get to feel the differences between the two sides. If one feels easier than the other, if it changes the breath in a way that maybe it hitches because of pain, you're just observing. Good. Let's bring the knees back to the center. Let's take a breath. Good. You're going to take the right ankle, hook it above the left knee. And that's it. So you're creating this leverage where the foot doesn't have to do too much work because it's kind of locked there in place. And then what does that do to the rest of the body? So your knee, your hip joint, and then upward, up the line. Does it feel like energy is blocked or circulation is blocked? Does it feel like it's transferring more energy because something else has relaxed because of the leverage? Everybody's bodies are going to differ. Take that same leg, let's bring it up towards the ceiling. Okay, so the first one of the day, it might feel stiff. It might feel good to have a little bit flatter of a pelvis. You're just observing. Now let's circle the ankle in one direction here. Okay, and we're doing it pretty soft. So, the ankle is the one starting the movement, not really the toes. Let's go the other direction. And then we just observe by doing that, how does it feel to the rest of the body? Does it feel easy? Does it feel like you have to force it? Is the leg able to stay pretty steady as the ankle moves, or do you feel like the leg is moving also? It's just little things that we pay attention to consciously so that the subconscious can process its own thing. And then we bring that foot back down and now feel into the sensation, the blood flow on one side versus the other. The heaviness or lightness of one side compared to the other. Even down to the bottoms of the feet. Do you feel that? So sometimes we lose that consciousness or awareness of the bottoms of our feet. And there's a lot to honor in how these carry us throughout our days. Okay, so let's try this on the other side. So now we hook over the left ankle above the right knee and we just pause. Okay, so this might feel quite different than the other side, but you're observing, again, the energy flow or the pathways of blood flow and circulation. Does it feel clogged? Does it feel better? Do you feel like you can relax the pelvis a little bit more doing it this way? There's just all little things that are happening by just hanging out in something that's not really a stretch as much as it's just another position in life. And then we take that same leg and let's bring it up towards the ceiling. So now we have a straighter leg. So you can kind of feel, does the hamstring feel a little tight? Does the pelvis feel like it's anchoring more? Is it hard to keep this leg up? They're just all different things that we're consciously predicting and feeling and seeing. Okay, so now we're gonna roll the ankle just in a circle, but have it be the ankle versus the toes. So if your toes are changing quite a bit throughout the circle, it's most likely that you're using the toes to direct it instead of the ankle. And you can see if the circle feels, round, if it feels oval, if it feels like there's a lot of the circle that you can't get to with that ankle. Okay, and then let's go the other way, go the other direction. And it's a pretty defined circle. It's like you're trying to feel all the edges of this imaginary circle. And there's a coordination factor, right? Like, can the circle be smooth the whole way? Or does it feel like one part, the foot goes a lot faster and then a lot slower, or it's rickety? It's just good to know. Okay, so now we bring that foot back down and you have the sensation between the two sides again. And the beauty of this is that your brain is already processing what's going on. We don't really have to get in the way of any of it.